Welcome into another live edition of Nick Patrick's Mailbag. I'm your co-host, Cassio, and I'm here with the man of the hour. You might not recognize him without his neck brace on or his zebra costume. But ladies and gentlemen, he is the one and only, the legendary Mr. Nick Patrick. How are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing great, brother. How about yourself, man? You doing all right? You survived the storm?
Yeah, we got a free day off here on the storm. Nothing happened. It rained. They were worried at first, I don't know what they told y'all over there in Georgia, but like the beginning of the week, they were like, we're getting 15 inches of snow. And it panicked the whole city.
Well, we were told we was getting ice pretty much the whole time. Okay. We were like an ice belt, but they were telling us it was going to be catastrophic, and they didn't, the map kept changing as to where it was going to hit, and eventually down here where, staying where I take care of my mom, we did end up all right. It got really cold. It rained hard for a while, but It stopped raining before that severe cold hit. And we had some freeze up on a little bit on the limbs and some on my mom's got a couple big mimosa trees and they got those big old leaves on them, and I walked by and touched them.
Mimosa trees.
Yeah, they were all
crispy.
Had ice, yeah, and they had like little drips starting to come off of each leaf that was frozen, like little mini icicles starting to form. But it warmed up shortly after that. And, it's pretty dry now. It's where we're at. Everything's good to go now.
Is a mimosa tree anything like the drink?
No, I wish it was. I'd be out there. That'd be my new outside spot, man. Sitting under that mimosa tree. Yeah, I'd have one twisted sitting under that mimosa tree, man. That's a great idea, man.
I've never heard of a mimosa tree ever. I'm trying to look them up there. Is that one?
Bingo.
Right
Yeah. Yep. They bloom. Those little.
They look kind of like ferns.
Yeah, when they were in bloom, they were pretty, man. Yeah, we got a bunch of them all over my parents' property, and like I said, a couple of them big.
They got a good smell? Or not really?
Yeah, they don't really smell. Okay. And usually they're up pretty high in the tree to get to.
Oh, it's not like low. It's one of those.
Yeah, but they're not real big trees.
Really?
Yeah, the one we got is old. The one that's older, it's in pretty rough shape. But they've got a whole. But they spread because they got this little thing that looks like a pea sack that comes out and it just gets loaded. And those things blow everywhere, and so they spread.
They start popping up.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, but they're so pretty when they bloom. We've kind of weeded out some of the other stuff. Tony, my son, over on his property, so that those can grow and stand out a little bit. So they look really cool. Wow. And looks pretty when they're in bloom.
I'll have to check those out. I'm not familiar with them at all. But if you are with us, you can interact and hang out with us. We're going to be here for the next hour or so. We're going to talk wrestling, sports, music, movies, food, whatever you want to talk about. We will talk about it today with the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Nick Patrick. Of course, I said you might not recognize him without his neck brace and 40-ounce C-Dub, one of your wrestlers at Deep South Wrestling, said, or his Kenny Powers inspired mullet.
Yeah, man, I've got the old standard redneck haircut too, man. The old self-inflicted buzz cut still from. I still cut my own damn hair ever since the pandemic, man. I learned how to do it. So I said, what the hell, And I used to take Nick to get his hair cut, but he's got so used to me doing it. Like, I'm like, you want to start going back to this other place? No, your dad will do it. Oh, okay. If you want me to do it, I'll do it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, what are you cutting it with? You cutting it like
No,
cut
no, just
somebody
some
else's
trimmers,
hair.
man. Just some buzzer. I
What
trim
do you put it on?
three
10?
different. No, I don't even know what I'd have to tell you. One of them I got is a 16, a 12, and a 9, I think. And I go longer on the top and short on the ears and kind of taper it and
Look
blend
at
it
you.
man. And the back is the hard part. I can get everything, but I have to get my son Tony to get my neck and shape up the back.
Like
And I'm
straight up
just,
the lines.
yeah, 'cause I can't do the mirror thing. I'm just uncoordinated as hell, man. Plus my shoulders, I'm just
So besides edging it up, you got everything.
yeah, I mean, I'm okay from here. What I can see, I can do.
Well, it's kind of like the
And I can
mullet,
see, I
dude.
can get the back. I just can't shape. I can't get my neck good or
You
shape it
gotta
up.
get the
So
mullet back, man. You gotta get that way. You can do the front. You don't have to worry about the back.
nah, man, I got the little spot up here on the top, man. I'm an old guy now. I didn't want to have that reverse cul-de-sac thing going. There comes a time where you either have to go one way or the other.
Yeah,
Erase it.
I started getting them power alleys like in the old baseball fields.
Yeah, yeah.
Right here. It was up in the front, but it was getting thin right there. But I joked my ex-wife now, but I joked. I always was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna shave my head." And she's like, "No, I like feeling your hair and the whole deal."
Yeah.
And then one day I joked, I was like, "I think I'm gonna shave my head." And she was like, "Yep." And I went, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!"
Yeah. Okay. Then.
Whoa, that got real.
Yeah. Well, all right then.
Yeah, I was like, "That's a change of tune."
I don't know if I want to do it now.
Yeah, I was like, "Come on, I'm just messing around now." Y'all hit us up. Yeah, more money for them chicken nuggets by saving money for getting your own hair.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask. We loaded up here. We thought. Seriously, we thought it wasn't the snow. It was hey, it's gonna rain all day, and then it's still like 20 degrees today. Yeah, it got 18 last night, so we knew it was gonna freeze. And it wasn't even driving then. Your worry is power outages. Especially in the South. We're not like the North. I mean, my northern friends, they got, I feel like they got 2 inches of snow 365 days a year. They don't even.
Yeah, they're ready for it up there. They're equipped for snow. Ice, you can't get ready for. They can put stuff out, but if it's going to freeze over, and I don't care how good of a driver you are on ice.
No, you got no chance.
Even if you're going slow, there's still a chance that it's just going to start going and you can't stop it.
Well, everybody here in Alabama is like, "Oh, power's going out. Power's going out." So yes, Stewart's up here in Huntsville with us. He said, "Happy Monday. Hope you're staying warm in the Snowmageddon." Yeah, they thought it was going to be bad here, and it did turn out not to be. But there was also, hey, we're going to be snowed in without power, maybe. So get all your food. I had like 5 days worth of food. I ran through it in one day.
Oh yeah, the supermarkets were wiped out here too. There was parts of North Georgia that got like almost an inch of ice. But they were predicting that there was going to be a big band of it that got that much, but it wasn't that much. And the closer to Atlanta you got, the less it got. And I'm about an hour south. I'm about when I jumped in my car at the airport, within 45 to 50 minutes, if I ever didn't get caught in my little back shot, I was there back. Was heading due south.
Well, y'all let us know how it did. Yeah, let us know how it did in the chat, how it did where you were at. Hopefully y'all are safe. And if you're joining us, that means you got power, or you don't care about your power and you're just running your cell phone battery down and watching us there. Either way, we appreciate it.
Or you gassed up your car and you're charging your stuff up out there.
Exactly. Y'all hit us up in the chat. We'll get to those. Anything you want to talk about, we will talk about here on the show. Also, if you can't watch this live, if you're watching this when we're not live, go ahead and still leave a comment. We will get to those. I'll go back and check all the previous shows and make sure nobody left a comment there in the section that we did not get to. We will gladly go through and get those as well. So drop them wherever or whenever you're watching this. We greatly appreciate it. Before we get started a little bit more, as the questions start rolling in, let's promote you, of course, And sometimes we take for granted, Nick. We've been doing this for I don't know, a couple of years now. Me
Yeah.
and you have been doing this, and we kind of take for granted. We did switch over here to YouTube, so we got new viewers that way. But we gloss over. Hey, you're running Deep South Wrestling.
Right.
We
Right.
kind of gloss over it sometimes. The history of Deep South Wrestling and what it means to the entire wrestling landscape. Something your dad started, but just talk about Deep South Wrestling and kind of maybe in your own words what that means. You were there from the beginning. It was your dad. You saw it come up, go down, bring it back up. But just talk about what Deep South Wrestling is to everybody, Nick.
Well, what it is now is an opportunity for young people. It's to try and get looked at, because I try to use my connections with my old friends and old people that I've worked with, and for kids to get looked at. And we pick the very best of all the locals that are, and we look for different things, your performance and your look, and how you promote yourself, your internet presence and all. I mean, a lot of things to look for when you're booking somebody. And that's changed over the years. When we very, very first started, I had blown my knee out and I was home. And Pop was in between territories and was home, and so he bought a ring, and we started doing, and it caught on, and he started, and eventually he got on with WCW, and then I did, but every time that he walked away and went somewhere, he always kept the LLC open, and kept it alive, so it kept it in his name. So even though we wasn't always running shows and keeping it alive, because when we was working with WCW, we was on the road. I was, especially me, I couldn't help at all, because I was I didn't get a day off unless I was hurt. So I was traveling. I was working all the time.
Right.
So there was times that Pop just kept the LLC alive. But we've revived it several times. It started off just a little indie thing. And ended up, we started going to WCW, and they wanted to have their own thing. So we didn't actually turn Deep South into the power plant. The power plant was its own entity. Pop kept Deep South alive off to the side. But and he brought it back to life when he was in. It was a training territory for WWE for a while, and then they, then Pop had a separation, a parting of the ways. And they went down to Florida. They've been very successful down there ever since. So it was a good move for them. And Florida's not a bad move too. For those kids to be down there working and training. But Pop gave it to me. Pandemic hit, and everything closed down. WWE was doing shows with people's their faces on computer screens in the crowd. So I'm like, damn, somebody. It kind of put everybody in a level playing field, not a level playing field, but it gave the little guy, if you had an idea and a chance, and maybe you could come up with something and get it to run, and so Pop gave me, he said, look, man, he says, I'm out. I'm done. I don't want to do anything else in the business. I'm tired, man. He said, but I've got the name, I've got the LLC, and I've got that ring out there. You can have it. You can have all the equipment, all the stuff, everything that goes Deep South is yours now. He said, you do what you want with it. Sell it, build it, do whatever the hell you want to do with it.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. So I held on to it for a minute, and I had a bunch of kids that was wanting to come and work out, and because I had that ring set up in my building, and which worked out great for me, because at this point in time now, I'm starting to watch and take care of my mom and my dad. And that way I could go up there and do stuff out of the building, and then run in, check, make sure everybody's good, But we did that for a while. Now we're not really training people so much, but it was more focusing on doing shows. And there's so many places to go and work out. It's just become more inconvenient now, because my mom needs too much care, and I just can't be running back and forth and having a bunch of people out on the property that I can't keep an eye on, because I got to keep an eye on this end, So
Sure.
we really kind of just quit training people, but we're just running the shows, and my partners, so we can really focus on that. And that works out really better for me too, because now we can focus on kids that are already got their feet on the ground, and we can see that they are trying to break through to the next level, because that's what we're trying to promote. People that are trying to get through to the next level. We're not really promoting folks that are they're just happy where they're at and doing it for fun, or older guys, and I love older guys. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of older guys are just hanging on and doing it for a little, have a little fun, a little glory on the side. That's not what we're about. I'm about bringing kids that want to break through and become next level players and present that, because if I couldn't do something different than everybody else, I wasn't going to open back up and start doing stuff again anyway. I'd rather have sold everything if I couldn't come back and do something different. But anyway, I had about 8 or 10 kids one time all working out in the building, and it's a little metal building, it looks like a little tiny mini airplane hangar, kind of like, with a big roll up door. And we had that door pulled down because it was a little cool outside. And we only so many people can be in the ring at the same time. So I paired off people. So, okay, let's pair off. Since we got so many people, let's pair off and have matches. And everybody else just line up around the ring, and let's give them some energy, And
Yeah.
it was so loud and so energetic and so fun that it just, like, my little light bulb clicked on my head. I thought, holy shit, this might be something, kind of present this in sort of a Fight Club type, presentation. And
More than just training.
yeah, and make
Yeah.
it a different look than, because if you watch all the wrestling shows, and we kind of do the same thing too, because music is such a big part of it. And the intros is such a big part of it. But for me, if you don't know the characters and they're not over and they're young people trying to get over, yeah, that helps them to get over. But it's a lot of dead time. You're okay. Who is this guy? It's a lot to me. I think, and I know it's part of the character development, because we train people that, hey, look, man, so if you come out that door and the camera and the focus, whether there's a camera there or not, once the crowd is focused on you, and boom, you're in character, man. And from the time, by the way you walk to the ring, by the way you climb in the ring, by the way you present yourself, you're starting to show them whether you're a heel, whether you're a baby face, or whether you're mean business. You're starting the beginning part of telling your story from the minute you step out of that curtain. And the shows that we're running gives kids an opportunity to learn exactly that, and more of an opportunity to learn how to interact with the crowd and not just be robotic. Only think of staying inside the box, only what we talked about in the back, whatever. Go out and ad lib sometimes, and relax and learn to manipulate the crowd, because that's what we do. Don't just go out and present some pre-arranged, rehearsed skit that you talked about in the back. Go out and interact with these people and draw them in and make them part of what you're doing. And that's the way we're running our shows now. It gives kids an opportunity to learn how to do that. A lot of them already have got, are getting that, because if you want to break through to the next level, you'll pick up on that, because if you watch WrestleMania, the storytellers are the guys that's in the main event spots. It's an honor to be on there in any spot, but you want to get in that main event spot, and those are always for the storytellers.
It's kind of like the next step of developmental, which is, yeah, we could teach you moves in the ring and teach you how to run the
Right.
ropes and do all these things. But now we're teaching you how to be a professional wrestler, a TV wrestler, if you will, take your character development, the whole deal. You're on that next level of people that are out there.
Yeah, that's
which
what we're
has to
trying
be
to do.
done. Which has to be done.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's once you learn that skill. I mean, because there's still kids at the next level that are trying to learn that skill. That's why that's why they've got them in NXT, so that they can develop that particular skill to learn how to interact. I mean, anybody can go in. It's like cheap heat. I tell kids, you ever seen back in the day, guys, as soon as they walk out the door, shut up, you stupid rednecks. Anybody can do that. So that doesn't make you special. Go out and work for your heat. Use this, and use your skills, use your look. But go out there and work. That's a shortcut. And anybody can do that. And yeah, you're going to get a reaction. Yeah, shut up. Go out there and be a character, and
Have some
story.
depth to it after that.
Yeah. Yeah. Learn to storytell, man, if you want to get into those main slots.
All right, we're hitting up in the chat. You can hit us up. We'll get to as many questions as we can. And if you want to make sure you jump to the front of the line and you want to support this show, keep this show going, keep this show getting bigger and better every single time we go live, you can hit us up with those super chats. Doesn't seem like a much to you, but it does, means a lot to our show as we can keep this thing moving. Stuart Peck hit us with a super chat. So thank you for that, Stuart. He said in Watercraft News.
All right, man.
Kevin Shaw of the Watercraft Journal magazine got his dream jet ski, the 2002 Kawasaki STXR 1200, which has won more championships in racing than any jet ski ever built. Wow. I had to look it up. Look at this fine machine right here. That's one. This isn't Kevin Shaw's, but these are pretty good. 1200 STXR.
You got to know what you're doing riding one of those bad boys. You just jump on one of them. You just jump on one of them, and that's your first one.
You're done.
Oh boy,
you are done. I do like that one's a sit down. I'm too fat and old to be doing the stand up ones anymore.
I would have.
You drag, then pull yourself up, then the handle goes up with you. Woo! Yeah. That's some work right there.
Yeah, I got to go off of less is more.
Yeah, Stuart, I don't need a racing one. Tell us which one a fat old guy like myself can get on and just take off. That's what I want right there. Isn't that what you want? Just take off.
Yeah, I just want to ride and have fun. I don't want to be passing boats or jumping or
I want the pontoon of jet skis. I want it to be relaxing.
I want a drink cup holder.
Yeah, I need some music playing. I need some shade, maybe. Has anyone ever had a canopy on their jet ski? I don't get my bald head burnt. But how about that? The man got his fantastic racing jet ski. Well, we appreciate that, Stuart. He also said he's in Huntsville area with myself. He said 3 hour delay. Went into work at 9 instead of 6. That's good. At least you get to slide. At least you get to sleep in on those days. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's
just changes your whole day a little bit. Let's 40 ounce said you need to take off and jump some mimosa trees with that jet ski.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be coming in hot. Yeah,
I can see him coming in hot.
See, Stuart said that thing's got no reverse, no mirrors, just a race machine. That ain't what we need, Nick.
No, I mean that's hospital time, man. Let's try to revive this old guy. I think he's hurt, he's in the water, he might drown. Get his old ass away from that machine.
Hospital time.
Yeah.
He said, he's looking at getting an Ultra 152 stroke to have an alternative to my new one these days. I'm feeling old school, no fancy electronics and all that.
No, cool.
Not me,
that
man.
Would have to be me. I wouldn't even know how to use the new fancy electronics.
But the moment you got to stand up, you want a big Cadillac, is what you want.
I would need a Cadillac. I would need.
Yeah, we don't want a Camaro or a Corvette. We want a Cadillac.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen the ones where they got like 3 people riding on, where a mom riding her 2 kids on them.
I need that
like
for
a little
my fat
mini
ass.
bus. That's I was gonna say, man, that looks like me. They're not jumping wakes or none of that. They're just cruising and yeah.
Yeah, 40 ounce said you can get your practice in for the joust off with the squirrel.
It's. You might need
Squiggy,
one of them.
The water seeing squirrel with a splash guard. Yeah, no chance. Let's see what we got. Oh, all right. Stuart said we need a Sea-Doo GTX 170 or a Kawasaki Ultra. That means those are plus for fat boys, is what that means. Nick.
There you go.
That's what we need.
I used to have a Kawasaki dirt bike when I was a kid, so I'd have to look
at that.
Did you? Yeah, I had a little G5 100 when I was a kid, And that little
He was a
sucker
dirt
would,
bike guy.
oh yeah, that little sucker would fly, man. I had a couple of kids that I went to school with that they used to race motocross, and and I couldn't ride as good as them, and my dad wouldn't let me anyway. Because I asked him because I was going to try to, but man, I didn't have it in here like they do. They were wide ass open. Those two kids,
Yeah,
man.
no, you have to have whatever
Yeah,
that part of your brain is that says when
yeah,
to slow down. You can't.
yeah. No, yeah. They hit it, man. They were just. I was like, okay. And then I realized at that point, well, maybe Pop's right because they didn't know I'd never beat either one of these guys in a race because they're fucking crazy.
My stepdad, he likes dirt. He's still got his dirt. He's 60, still got his dirt bike, and
I love them, but I'm too beat up for them now.
well, I was about to say he found a crew where you're riding, but you're just riding. You know what I mean?
There you
We're
go.
not trying to win anything.
We're not jumping.
No.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Hey, AKA, let's meet in Georgia. And we're gonna get our dirt bikes out. And we're gonna go riding, and we're not gonna have the wives with us. That's all that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, now that'd be fun.
Let's just get away from everybody. Let's see, and let's see what else we got in our chat. Thank you for Pirates Wrestling. Okay, here we got a deep one here. Nick, question.
Yes.
I was reading WWE Magazine 2006, and they asked WWE 2006 talents anonymously who was the gassiest WWE stars in 06. So first of all, 2006, were you in WWE? Where were you at?
Yeah, I was in WWE in 2006.
Okay. So they've asked him to rank the gassiest. I assume that means farting, right? That's what I think of it.
Yes. I mean,
right,
we
so
did. It wasn't like we sat around like the Blazing Saddles campfire. There were different guys.
Okay.
Big Show would let it rip sometimes.
Okay.
It was horrifying.
Okay, he sent us the top 7. I was going to see what you said.
But
Big Show is in the top 7.
The ones that would get you was them little guys that was trying to bulk up and that was taking in all that protein and stuff, man.
Oh, protein farts.
They were the ones that would kill you. The big guys, it was just like loud and crazy and disgusting. But them little dudes that was taking in all that protein, man, it would be just like, oh dear God. All
right. Any other guesses? Because you got Big Show. Big Show's on.
Yeah, I had to throw. The reason I threw Big Show up there. It's a funny Big Show story. There was a lady up there. She was one of the producers, and I guess that's what they call them then. Now it's a whole different thing. But she did pre-tapes. She was in charge of doing pre-tapes in different places. She was notorious for just walking in and out of the guy's locker room with that unannounced. Because they filmed in there a lot. So she didn't care. So one day, Big Show took all his clothes off because he knew she was coming, and he stood there with his ass to the door, and he bent over like he was getting shit out of his bag. So when she come barging in that door, there he stood, bent over, ass, everything hanging out, and he's standing like he's digging shit out of his bag, man. And she went, "Oh my God!" I turned around and walked back out the door. It was really kind of funny, man. I thought. No, it's not a fart story, but
it's Big Show.
Yeah, but those big guys, they can't help it.
Here's who we got. Okay, number 7, Estrada. Do you remember Estrada?
No, I don't.
I don't either. Who's Estrada? Y'all tell us. I'm looking it up. Estrada. Armando Estrada.
I had a manager, wasn't he? Did announce gimmick? Wasn't he the manager guy that announced his guy like he was? That took and he did the intro for his guy. Maybe
I'm trying to see who he was. WWE. He went to OVW. He was a bodyguard for Muhammad Hassan. He managed Umaga. Yeah, there you go. When they had their feud with Cena and Umaga, that was him as well. Okay. All right. Number 6 was Snitsky.
I was around him. Yeah, I don't. But as far as
number 5 was Khali.
Khali. Well, yeah, there you go.
Big boy.
Those big giant guys. like I'm in a tuba. Whoa.
Number 4, Jim Duggan.
Big Jim, yeah, I guess. He
Hacksaw.
was a big dude too, you know.
We got number 3, Charlie Haas.
That was a protein guy.
Protein guy. 2 was Big Show, and number 1,
Yeah.
Hornswoggle.
Hornswoggle. Wow.
I'm going to see. I'll see Hornswoggle this weekend. That'll be great.
Oh, tell him he's number 1, baby. He's number 1 in all of our hearts. Number 1 in all of our hearts now.
And all of our farts. He is
he's number 1 in all of our farts. Yeah. Jeez. Now that was an interesting
Estrada, Snitsky, Collie, Jim Duggan, Charlie Haas, Big Show. That's great. You mentioned Big Show, so that was a good one right out of the gate. And then Pyrus wants to know, bonus question to you, who's the gassiest referee in the locker room?
Damn, that's hard to say.
First of all, we all know it's you, Nick.
But well, look, if it wasn't Nick Patrick, I would have to say possibly my old buddy Randy Anderson, because Randy, he could drag more. Yeah, and then that late night eating, and sometimes some of the stuff that they'd eat late night. And man, and that next day, oh my goodness, yeah. That's what I'd have to go there.
Randy Anderson was the best. Okay.
Yeah, I think little Randy could let him rip, man, because he was hanging with them big boys drinking, and then they all ate late, you know, and it's, man, and then, not good. Not a good combo.
Talking about Swoggle, Mike explained why JBL tried to kill him with a trash can. He must have ripped one in his limo.
Yeah, they just put him in a trash can and put the lid down and let him fart himself to death.
Coach Rosie said that was Kyoto. He misses so much and probably eats a lot of dairy.
Oh, God.
Smiz, not Miz. He had a typo. Smiz and some dairy.
Okay. I got you.
Kyoto might, a little bit. Kyoto might, yeah. So boy, I didn't see us going to gaseous people today.
No, I didn't either. So that didn't.
I didn't see us.
Yeah, we didn't. You didn't get into the whole lactose intolerance thing.
Let's see what we got. Hey, while we're here, before we go on, we got more chats to get to. Got some couple of people celebrating a birthday we'll get to as well, with historic runs that you know very well in the business. So we will get to that. But Deep South Wrestling's got a lot going on right now, and coming up, your next show is going to be at Monday Night Garage, Nick.
Yeah, it's going to be big, man. That's a really
February
cool
15th.
February 15th, come check us out. This is going to be, we've started live streaming all of our shows from out of this place too. So, you know, you can check us out on YouTube if you can't make it there.
Really?
But okay. So we're going to be doing the live stream from there, but it's an awesome venue, man. They've got the craft beers. They do the fire oven pizzas, and it's live. It's in tight. It's indoors too. So this is why we decided, we can do this one year round, because a lot of our shows are outdoors, all of our, we started off at Das Barbecue back in the day, and now we're in New Realm, and we're going to be coming back to New Realm too, but it's just too cold right now. And but this is going to be our year-round, once-a-month indoor place that we come to, and the shows are hot. And the last one I went to, it was standing room only, and man, we left them buzzing. And it's a great atmosphere. It's fun. If you want to come down and have a great time. And what's cool about our shows is the wrestling's free. The food, the drink, that's not for free. But you come down, you can have a nice meal, couple of beers, and with your family, there's kids that come down. It's very family oriented, and it's just it's a great time. So if you want to come check us out, man, come check us out at Monday Night Garage, because we're going to be throwing it down again.
Sunday afternoon, it's 1:00 Atlanta time, like you said. Look, it's Sunday afternoon. You're going to eat lunch somewhere. Might as well come over there and get you some free wrestling as it's going on. Monday Night Garage right there in the Atlanta area. Also coming up, we want to promote, you got your Legacy Night coming up, where wrestling's past meets its future. Exhibition matches, a panel on the history of wrestling, art, business, all kind of stuff. That's going to be at Create ATL February 21st.
That's right. I'll be there. Teddy Long's supposed to be there too. We've got him booked. He's coming in with my good friend Teddy. So you'll be able to talk to Teddy, meet him, get autographs. He'll have his merch there. Ask him questions. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a more intimate, tighter show. But like I said, we're going to have matches there too. So it's going to be a really good time. It's something special to check out, and another good way to really get in and get the feel of what a good indie wrestling show is.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Make sure you go to wearedeepsouth.com and get your seats there. Seating is limited at this different venue, Create ATL. So make sure you go to wearedeepsouth.com and you can get those tickets. You can RSVP there. Also coming up, sign up now, Deep South Wrestling Kids Camp in the summer. This is
That's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun.
If your kids, wherever you are, if your kids are interested in wrestling, maybe you're thinking about it. Hey, you just want to put them in something and have them be active with something during the summer. This is the perfect thing for you. July 20th through the 24th, right there in Atlanta, ages 7 to 11. And they can get a little bit of a taste, Nick, of what wrestling's all about.
Yeah, it's more about having fun and learning how to bring your personality out. And coming out of when I was a little kid, I've told this story 1,000 times. I was one of them kids in school, like, when it was time to read, the teacher would be calling on other people to read. I'd have to be like, oh God, I'd be hiding behind somebody, please don't call on me, and I just was really shy, and we're not going to have kids doing crazy dives and stuff. It's basic chain wrestling, what would teach them, and basic talking and promos and stuff, and how to just having fun, and how to let yourself, your inner personality come out a little bit, and it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, have them go there and just it's gonna grow that love for wrestling they already have.
Yeah.
It's gonna blossom that. It's gonna teach them some more about it. They'll know about what wrestling is about. And so that's going to be a fun time for the kids. Go to wearedeepsouth.com if you want to check out more about that, more about any of their live events, see bios about some of their people on their roster. You can get your merchandise there as well. It's all at wearedeepsouth.com. That's got your link to all their social, Instagram, Facebook. Like Nick said, you can go to YouTube and stream some of those shows as well. So a lot going on there at wearedeepsouth.com. Coach Rosie wants to know, Nick, did you play any sports in high school?
Yeah, I played high school football, and I had a couple of high school wrestling matches, but I was a wild ass kid, and man, I was starting to drink beer and have fun at that time. And I'm like, man, I just played football all season, and you're wanting me to run up and down bleachers until I throw up? Are you kidding me? And but I wrestled. The coach came to me and said, look, man, we ain't got enough guys on the team to fill the roster. Would you? So I said, all right, man. So I went to a couple practices, and it just kicked my ass totally, because I knew, because I had done it before. Pop had Bob Backlund come down in middle school and get us all on mats, because they were starting to bring wrestling. We didn't have wrestling back in the day. And where I went to school, then
you mean like amateur?
No
amateur
school wrestling. Not in my high school.
They didn't have it in mine either.
I think it was my maybe my junior year that they started. And there was other schools and other counties that had it, but not where I was at. And but once they had it, I was like. And I just kind of, in middle school, I played everything, baseball and basketball and all, but I just got stuck with football because it was my favorite one. And by the time I was a junior, my junior and senior year was just football. But I did a little bit of wrestling for the coach because he asked me to. I did okay too. I had 6 matches. I won 4 and lost 2. And I never got pinned. God, man, by the time I lasted at the end of that match, I was like, I was dying, brother. I was dying, man. It was hard.
they didn't have wrestling at my school. I don't even know if they've got it in my hometown or not. I mean, they
Yeah.
might now, but I haven't. They didn't have it for a long, long time. I mean,
Alabama's big in wrestling now, so I'm sure they probably
yeah,
do now.
they do now. They did not have it when I was there. Not that I would have done it. I was not tough enough, but I played football my whole life. I played 1 year soccer when I was young, but then I got into football because I hit my growth spurt before everybody else.
Yeah.
And football's fun when you're the biggest lineman on the field.
Yeah.
Then I got to high school and dudes came out with goatees and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah. Every time
hey,
you jump levels, it gets harder
yeah.
every time. Yeah.
And I was like you. I did that until my junior year, and I was like, "Hey, man, there's some grown men out there, but I'm not made for football. I mean, it was
Yeah.
fun for a while, but I am not cut out for this." So, yeah,
I was
I
an
quickly
offensive tackle. I was an offensive tackle and weighed 190
oh,
pounds when I graduated high school.
tackle.
At offensive tackle and defensive end. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
At 190 pounds, man. Yeah.
shoot. I remember in elementary, we had pee wee football is what they called it. And we won all the time. We won our area. We
Yeah.
traveled for tournaments. But I distinctly remember to this day, it was a 125-pound weight limit.
Yeah.
And man, they had us. I was at 125 pounds. Like they had us,
Early.
they put us in trash bags
Yeah.
and will make us
Oh,
run a mile and come back and weigh in because it was like
yeah.
125 and a half or whatever. So we're kids running in trash
Can you imagine
bags.
doing that to a kid? I mean, I
No,
know they
they
did
get
stuff like that.
arrested. They
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
arrested.
Yeah. It's insane, man. Yeah.
And they were just like, hey, if you don't want to play, you don't have to do it, But
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I need to play.
Yeah.
And you'd run and cut the weight, and they'd have some food waiting on you, and then you'd play a game after you did all that.
Man.
It's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see. John Redondo hit us up. All right, so he's got multiple, so I'm gonna sling it up for you, Nick.
Okay.
He said, Nick, have you heard or did you see the Chavo and Nate Malenko story in Sturgis at a Leonard Skinner concert? The group was trapped at the front of the crowd and far from the bathrooms. As the band began to play that smell, Chavo said he felt a hot sensation on his leg and followed the stream of liquid to its source, discovering that Malenko was relieving himself directly on him.
Yeah, I was.
Chavo said
was
it's
there.
another reason they call him the shooter.
I don't. Yeah, I don't remember that happening, but I was there because we all met.
You were at
Leonard
that
Skinner
show,
afterward. Yeah. I was at the show when
You were telling me that was a big moment. They brought you on to the
Yeah,
show.
yeah, we were in the orchestra pit, right in front of the stage, and Mickey J, my friend that's fast, God rest his soul, he was friends with the road manager, so he hooked it up, and we all went out there, and we actually met him after we met Leonard Skinner after the show too. It was really cool. But I don't remember the PP incident, man. But that could have very well have happened because there was people everywhere. We were wall to wall. If I was, I would. They could have done whatever the hell they wanted, man. I loved Leonard Skinner since I was a kid, and I got in the front row, got to watch Gary Rosington play guitar, and at that time, Rick Tomason that was with the Outlaws at one point in time. Yeah, he was with them. I think it was Rick Tomason. Tomason was the last name. And I'm not sure. I think Medlock was there too. So I got to meet all those guys. And
Freaking Medlock.
and I was up close. I play a little bit of guitar. I'm nothing like that, But I really enjoy watching people that know what they're doing and watch their, what they're doing. How it's very fascinating to me. And I got to see some excellent ones right up close. Got to meet them too. So
Of course,
pretty awesome night.
Everyone knows Ricky Medlock was in the Blackfoot Train.
Yeah.
Absolutely banger. And then, of course, heading over to Skinner. What year was that? Do you remember? Ballpark?
No, it was in the late 90s, so I couldn't tell you.
Now, did y'all have the show? Was that the same year you had the show?
Yeah, we were doing Sturgis shows is why we were out there. So
look at that. There we go.
During this time.
99, Nash Hogan. That's 1999.
Yeah.
Is that probably it?
Yeah, it was during that. Yeah, it was 98 or 99, one of those times.
Yeah,
It
This
was
is
like toward the,
99.
it was toward the end of the WCW run. I remember that. It was close to the end.
Little road wild there for the UWCW. Man,
Yeah.
look at you. Look. Yeah, you didn't have the goat. You just had the stash
Just
there.
had the stash at that point in time. Yeah. Yeah, I switch looks up all the time, man. I still have the old coaching pants on there. You can see how high they pull up there. I used to like them. I kept them pulled up, man. It was
The
I got a place.
polyester?
Oh, them old coaching pants, man. I used to
Yeah.
like to wear them. But funny story, we did this long ass German tour, man. And I worked with Eddie Guerrero and Scotty Riggs was a tag. They were working in a tag team for that night. But
Okay.
the night before, a lot of the boys went out to the bar. And Eddie was in the bar, and he started getting a beef with one of the guys. The owner of the bar was really nice to the guys, you know, but Eddie started getting a beef with one of his regulars, you know. And so the bartender grabbed Eddie from behind to try to stop Eddie from fighting him, and the boys started ribbing Eddie, saying that the owner grabbed him and was choking him out, you know. And that didn't really happen, but that's what everybody was saying, ribbing him, you know. And he was like, "No, man, they did not, you know, they didn't grab me like that." So, yeah, he was, you know, so they put me up to. They said sometime in the match when he's like got the guy in a corner or something, come up from behind him and grab him in the rear chin and say, "Yes, it's like the bartender, like the bar owner." And I did it, and he went, "Ooh!" And he said, "Oh, I got to give you a receipt." And I started laughing because he sold it so much, you know. I just walked up to my rib chin and I just like the owner of the bar. And he went, "Oh, that's so pity," and he was so mad. So they had their match, and I guess he plotted the whole time. He didn't know what the hell he was going to do. So him and Scotty went over at the end of the match. So he looked at me and says, "I'm going to pull your pants down." And I didn't give a shit. You know,
Eddie Guerrero did?
yeah. I'm goofier than batshit anyway. And it was the end of a long German tour. And I was about, you know, so that's okay. I don't care. So I raised him and Scotty's hands. I'm standing in between them. So him and Scotty both turn and they grab my coaching pants and they pull them down. But I've been working all night long, man. And I was sweating and my freaking underwear stuck to my pants and they pulled everything down to my ankles, man. And when they did, I'm standing there I'm standing there with my arms up like this, and now my shit's down around my ankles, right? And I looked at them, it was like this moment in time is frozen. I'm standing there, and they looked at each other like,
Wait.
They didn't realize that they'd done
You got everything out?
everything. And I dropped to my ass and covered my junk, you know, I pulled stuff up. And I did the old dog scratching his ass on the concrete, you know, all across to get out. And I rolled out to the floor, man. And I got my shit pulled back up. And I made a beeline to the back. And the people went absolutely freaking insane, man. It was.
They saw Nick and the Patrick.
Yeah, but that split second in time where all three of us realized, oh shit, you know, and the look on both of their faces, man.
Because he just wanted to pants you. He didn't want to go.
Yeah, he just wanted to pull. Yeah, he didn't want everything going to my ankles.
Oh, man.
But man, I've been working all night long. I've been out there sweating, and I just did their match. Everything went, man. That's it. Yeah, and none of us get fired. That was like probably one of the lesser things that happened on some of them tours.
Let's see.
And those were the coaching pants.
Those were the coaching pants.
Yeah,
right?
man.
Those same
I quit
pants?
wearing them after that. I quit wearing those coaching pants after that, man.
What did you wear after that? One with the belts or something?
I would go to Target or Walmart and get some of those solid black work khaki gimmicks that's got belt loops that I could put a belt in and pull tight, man. Somebody was going to pull my shit down. They're going to have to work hard just from now on.
Let's see what we got. Ibsen said he's got a couple ref questions. Appreciate you, Ibsen. He said, any memories of WCW ref Brian Curtis, who has sadly since passed away? What's your relationship like with Brian Curtis?
Mark was a good guy, man. He traveled a lot. Him and I traveled a lot with the Harlem Heat, with Booker and Stevie. And when he first came to WCW, he was really quiet, you know, and during the day, everybody's doing their thing and finding out what's going on. And he was sitting out, in the not where the audience would be, empty arena.
Yeah.
He'd be out in the chair, and he was reading a book, and it was "I Am Spock" by Leonard Nimoy.
Oh.
And he was into that book, man. And we all noticed how into the book he was, so we all nicknamed him Spock. So all of his buddies from the WCW would call him Spock. But he's a super nice guy, man. It broke my heart when he passed. And I was close enough to where I could make it to his funeral, doing because we had a shot that was fairly close. So I just made the drive and did it. But he was one of my friends, man. We did a lot of road together. Me and him and Stevie Ray and Booker. Yeah, me and him, Stevie Ray and Booker T. A lot of riding together.
What decides y'all riding together? Is it a let's take a trip and then hey, we hit it off, so let's do it some more, or is it
pretty much.
Was there ever somebody you took a trip with and you were like, yeah, I'm not traveling with them again?
A lot of people. A lot of people I see them as I make that decision before I even made the trip.
Before we even got in the car, they weren't going to
I'm not doing that.
Let's see. Ibsen said, was there a senior WC ref that gave you tips on how to be a better ref? I feel like you were the senior ref. But
when I very first started, Tommy Young was there until he hurt his neck. He helped me out a lot when I first started. But before that, it was territory days pretty much. I'd say Ronnie West helped me out. A guy named Bobby Simmons, he was an office manager, but he refed, and he's known me since I was a kid. And he's a preacher now. He spoke at my dad's celebration of life, actually. But all those guys, the older guys. But Ronnie West back in the day, and but it's from WCW when I started. Tommy Young was there, and he helped me out.
Did he help you out the most? Who helped you out the most? Period. Was it
most
Tommy
period,
Young, or was it your dad?
More Ronnie West. More Ronnie
West. Okay.
Yeah, because Ronnie was reffing himself and was transitioning out of reffing and into working in the office and promoting shows and doing a lot of different things. And I mean, he'd ref once in a while. But he was wanting to transition out of that into more of an office, spot, which left stuff open for me, and which was great for me. And he would give me a lot of advice because that's back then we were starting TV wrestling and stuff, and the only TV wrestling I had done at that point was Central States, and so now I'm down in Georgia, and Georgia was about to start hitting big, and become. But we hadn't started on cable yet. We still did a little Georgia Championship Wrestling, and boom, then we got on cable.
What's one of those? And it doesn't have to be from him; it can be literally from anybody. But what's one of those early things that kind of clicked for you? And I'll put it to you this way, so you can see what I'm talking about. When I first started doing stand up, I got class clown in high school. People just. We were at a party. I'm telling a story, making people laugh. Just a naturally funny guy. And I started doing stand up. And a buddy of mine, shout out to David Lynham, good guy. We've been friends for decades. He went to one of my shows, and I got through, and I was like, man, I did great. I think it might have been a competition, and I actually might have won the competition. But the point of it was when we got through, he said, hey, that was great. But that was you trying to be a stand-up comic. It wasn't you being funny, which is what is funny. Yeah. Because I don't want to poop on your show because it was a great show. You won. He goes, but I know you, and that was you trying to be a stand-up. We got to figure out, and he didn't know any better. He wanted a comic. Yeah. He would just
how to get more. You're
trying
to
do a character. Yeah. Yeah. Is there something that somebody said, whether it was a friend, your dad, one of the guys you're talking about, that said something that it finally clicked of, oh, I get it. I mean, I'm making progress, but is there something that clicked and kind of changed your trajectory in that business?
That's a hard question. Not really. My dad really gave me the most profound advice because he would, but I was only around him when I very first started. When we started in Central States and a little bit in Georgia, and then we worked different territories. I worked in Georgia, and Pop went to Florida, and then he went to Carolinas, and he bounced from Carolinas and Louisiana back and forth there for a good bit there toward the end of his career, and then worked Pensacola into it, at the end.
Okay.
But I was mainly, I was worked Georgia champion. I worked Georgia championship, and then when Crockett's bought it, I wanted to keep working, and I didn't want to go back to reffing, so I went to Continental, wrestled down there. And from Continental, I went over to work there for Watts at Universal Wrestling, I guess is what it was, or Mid South, and that's where I ended up blowing my knee out and coming home, and that's when things changed. But as far as somebody giving me advice, Pop gave me the most advice. Ronnie gave me more advice about just
Kind of how
keep
to perfect
moving.
it.
Yeah, little things. Just always keep moving like you're always trying to check something. Don't just go. But now they want you to stay out of the way. Back in the day, they wanted the ref to always be looking like he was trying to get a better angle on, is this a choke, is this not? And then you'd circle around the other side and be looking up and down, And, I did a lot of that when I was younger. And then Ole pulled me aside and said, look, man, I'm trying to get Ronnie to quit doing that shit, and I want you to stop it right now.
Okay.
He said, you're too much. He said, settle down and follow the action and just be a goddamn reptile. You don't have to. Blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
So Ole would have probably, that advice would have probably been what changed my trajectory. It's.
And that was just a change kind of in the business.
Yeah.
It was, like you said, you had learned to, let me get in here. Let me make sure I'm doing something at all times. Yeah. And then he kind of went, whoa, just fall back for a little bit.
Back on it. And honestly, sometimes I did it, but I was overdoing it, so was Ronnie, but sometimes I would do it because especially back in the day, guys would get a hold and stay there for a while.
Yeah.
And they would either communicate or whatever. And I was trying to be a distraction to where in case they were talking or doing something that I was trying to cover it, so checking here, bumping, moving the dab, always doing something to where, so kind of like sleight of hand, you're getting to look at this while you're doing this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's, but there comes a point where you can overdo it. And, and you don't look like a ref anymore. You look like a bouncing ball. God, somebody did what he just snorted an 8-ball before he went on. What's wrong with this guy? So, but that I think was probably the most advice, and that came from Ole. And
all right, that's a good one. All right, coming up before we get out of here, we got a couple things we're going to get to, including 1, 2, 3 with Nick Patrick. You can hit us up with that. We're going to definitely do one of those before we get out of here. That's where you give us 3 things and you tell Nick to rank it. So make sure you give us the 3 things. This isn't top 3 tag teams. This is saying 1, 2, 3, and then you give us 3 tag teams, and then he'll do that, whatever the case may be. We will get into that in just a second. Before we get out of here today, January 26th, Nick, somebody I know we've talked a lot over the past couple of years, so I know you have a relationship. It would have been Road Warrior Hawk's birthday today, and I know you spent a lot of time around that man and around that tag team in general. But just tell me a little bit about Road Warrior Hawk and your relationship with him.
He was one of my good buddies. I've known him for years from when he very first broke in. Joe come in first as and then they brought Mike in second. But back in the day, as soon as they were still trying to come up with the look for them. They hadn't even started painting their faces yet. They looked, they had some kind of a crazy biker look gimmick thing to them. They're still trying to figure it out, But Ole said, it was back before social media and back before cell phones and GPSs and all that stuff, So Ole come up with a story that they won the titles in some place, nobody could disprove it because there was, and their first show they come out as tag team champions. I believe it was Canton, Ohio. And we're back in the locker room, me and Dick Murdoch and Ronnie Garvin and somebody else working especially with Hawk, on locking up and grabbing a hold. And he had done it some, he'd worked with it. That's how new he was, how green he was. But man, he caught on, and he was a good friend of mine, man. I got a funny story. He was super freaking jacked. And there was this club, and we used to
Look at
always
those
like,
pecs right
yeah,
there.
man.
That
We
neck and those delts, man, that's
we
crazy.
we used to go to this club down in Atlanta called D Ford's, and it was a rock and roll club, and there was fights and shit there all the time, man. So me and Hawk, and then it was Brad Armstrong and Tim Horner, and we were going out and getting into my car, and there was these two groups of guys that like they were gonna fight, but it was like, no, you pushed me, and they were just more jawing and talking shit than fighting, you know. So we got in the car, and Hawk goes, "Stop the car! Stop the car!" And he jumped out of the car. Now he had a Georgia Bulldog shirt on that looked like it was 3 sizes too small. You know, he looked like freaking Hercules. He jumped out of the
He was
car
painted on.
and he said, "Are you pussies gonna fight or what?" And then he cut this promo on the whole group, man. I mean, there were like 10 people, and he cut the promo on all of them. And me and Brad and Tim were in the car like, oh shit, we're about to have a fight with about 10 people here. But we knew that he was going to handle half of them. But
Gladly.
So
He would
they
have
all
gladly
stopped.
done.
They were all like, I think they recognized him from TV. They had to, but they all stopped and they were like in shock, man. They were like that, right? So he goes, "Nobody gonna fight? Nobody got? Well, that's what I thought. You bunch of pussies." And he turned and he comes to get in my car, and one of the guys goes, "That was effing Hercules." And when he said that, Hawk spun around and says, "Who's got the smart effing mouth?" And when he did, every son of a bitch in the crowd pointed at this one poor guy and threw this one poor son of a bitch under the bus, man. He all us. It was, we all started laughing our asses off, and he got back in the car. As we drove off, we lit one up, and we were laughing our asses off. But it was so funny, man. It was like all of them just pointed at the one guy that said it, man, and it just threw his asses under the bus, man.
I mean, this guy's coming at you. You don't want no part of that.
No, he was a big badass. He was.
You don't want no part of this,
Yeah, super nice guy though. Super nice guy.
Incredible. So, Road Warrior Hawk, of course, no longer with us, but yeah, man. Thank y'all for hitting us up. Before we get out of here, we've got some 1, 2, 3 with Mr. Nick Patrick, which we will get to. You got to give us 1, 2, 3, and you got to give us the things he's got to rank, and that way he can rank them. This isn't him pulling stuff out of thin air. This is Nick ranking what you've got. See, like this, Stuart, thank you for hitting us up in the super chat. 1, 2, 3 preferred snow days activities. Stuart, you got to give us the activities, though. Give us the activities. We'll come back to you. He's got to rank whatever you get this. Okay, this isn't a top 3 thing. This is a 1,
ranking
2,
them in the order
3.
of what I think is, yeah.
Yeah, for example, Ibsen, thank you. Ibsen said 1, 2, 3. Nick, what would you eat first in WCW catering? Pizza, hoagies, or pasta? Rank them 1, 2, 3.
I'd go pasta 1.
Now,
hoagies.
is this your preference or is this WCW specific?
I'm looking at the catering for WCW.
Okay. All right.
Pasta would have been 1 because you could pick your sauce kind of. Hoagies would have been 2 because catering pizza was, I don't know, pizza. They would have ordered pizza. They would have just made pizza in catering. So I'm going to go pasta 1, pizza 2, hoagies 3.
Okay. There we go. We like that. All right. He also gave us 1, 2, 3 funniest WCW office executive, Eric Bischoff, I'm assuming, Kevin Sullivan, or Dusty.
Dusty has the funniest personality. I think Kevin would be second because he would joke around with you. Eric was always he was the boss. He was
business, yeah.
Yeah, so if you got to know him on a personal level, he's very funny. He's got a great personality. Very, very knowledgeable. One of the more knowledgeable people of our industry that's out there of modern wrestling and how it should be presented in a way that draws money. He knows he's got his shit together. But,
so Dusty, Kelvin, and Eric. But
yeah, as far as funniest, yeah, Dusty, because Dusty was funny, man. And Kevin was funny too, but Dusty was really funny, man. He said some outrageous shit sometimes. He was on a plane one time. It was those small planes. It was 2 seats on one side and one on the other, right? And there was a bunch of boys on there. So the stewardess comes up to him and goes, "Excuse me, sir, could you tell me how much you weigh?" He goes, "How much I weigh? What do you want to know? How much I weigh for?" She goes, "Well, we're trying to come up with the weight and balances for the plane so we know how much fuel to put on." He goes, "Tell them to fill it up, baby."
Yeah. Yeah, let's don't cut it close. I'm with him. Just fill it up, dude. Just fill it up.
Fill it up, baby.
Stuart, you got to hit us. I'm trying to get you before we get out of here. Snow day activities. Well, you had a snow day today, kind of.
They threatened us with one, but we lucked out and didn't have it. Thank goodness. They was threatening us with an ice day, though. So.
I know you're a little old. You're a little older. I think the older you get, the less you get out in the snow, like me. But
yeah, I don't even want to see that stuff anymore.
I think my number one snow day is eat all the stuff I've got for the next 5 days that I saved up.
Yeah, eat the emergency stash.
Yeah, drink, Smiths, and eat. That's number one.
Bam,
1,
bam,
2, 3.
bam.
Oh, there we go. Here we go. He wants to know snowball fights, sledding, indoor activities.
Okay, indoor activities altogether. And sledding when I was a kid, yeah. And snowball fights, they end up getting too serious. You know, end up being a shoot every time. So it's not just some friendly shit. It ends up turning into
some friends are fighting.
Yeah, there's a rock down in the middle of this snowball that clobbers somebody and knocks a tooth out. Yeah. I'd go indoor activities 1, sledding 2, and snowball fights number 3. Sledding was fun back in the day, but that's so far in my rearview mirror now. I'm not getting on. Man, I can just see my old ass flipping off of a damn sled.
You end up with a copay if you go sledding.
Oh yeah, I'm in the emergency room. Sir, how did this happen? Well, I was sledding down this big hill. Well, you're a big dumbass, you know.
And one more before we get out of here. Ibsen said, favorite monuments: Lincoln, Liberty Bell, and Mount Rushmore. Me personally, I've only been to Lincoln. I would love to see Liberty Bell and Mount Rushmore, but I've only seen the Lincoln Monument.
I haven't seen Liberty Bell. I've been close to it, but I haven't seen Liberty Bell. So I'm going Rushmore. Crazy. Rushmore's 1 to me because that's just so impressive, and the area, you know, just the area, the whole landscape of being out in there. You know, that's, you know, we went and checked that out when we did Sturgis. So nice. I'm going Rushmore number 1.
Okay.
Lincoln number 2 because I've been there a couple of times, and I'd have to go Liberty Bell number 3 only because I hadn't seen it yet. You know. All right. So,
all right, that's a good call. I've only been to the 1, so I can't rank them at all. Ibsen, thank you for that. Thanks everybody for hitting us up in the super chats. We greatly appreciate it. Had a absolute blast today. We always appreciate y'all hooking up with us. Stuart said, thanks for putting up with me. Everyone, National Boating Day, July 10th. All right, we will we'll keep that posted. Coach Rosie said, good to see you, Nick. Looking forward to the next episode. We will have one next week, so looking forward to that as well. Again, one more time, go to wearedeepsouth.com. Their next show is February 15th that's a Sunday at 1:00 in the afternoon. Free wrestling at Monday Night Garage. Check that out. You can also, while you're at We Are Deep South, check out the Legacy Night coming up February 21st and go ahead and get your kids locked in to the July Kids Camp there for Deep South Wrestling. Nick, man, I know you got a lot going on. We're glad that we are blessed. I mean, I even texted yesterday. I was like, let's do a show if we got power. Thank you. Glad we got power. We got to hang out with y'all. Had an absolute blast. This might have been the fastest hour we've ever had.
Yeah, we rolled through this one, didn't we?
Always appreciate y'all hitting us up. Always appreciate y'all interacting. Make sure you like and subscribe to Podcast Heat Wrestling. Make sure you turn on those notifications. You'll know exactly when we go live every single time. Plus, me and Nick are shameless promoters. You can follow Nick. You can follow myself at the Casio Kid. We will promote when we have our shows as well. For the one and only Mr. Nick Patrick, thank you, Stuart, for hitting us up in the super chats. I am Cassio. We'll see you next year again on Podcast Sheet Wrestling YouTube channel for another edition of Nick Patrick's Mailbag.